This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Clawful figure, the warrior with the grip of evil, part of the cartoon collection, aka the ones based on the Filmation designs, which this one really takes the cake as far as redesigns go of the figures. On the back of the box, we see an image from the episode Driel's Return, modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe animated series. What the hell kind of accent was that? He includes the Horn of Evil, and you can twist him into powerful battle positions. As part of this, quote, wave, even though the cartoon collection comes out in waves with the fan favorites, we have Webstore, the evil master of escape. Evelyn, evil warrior goddess. Although once again, I'd like to point out that Evelyn's not a warrior, she's a sorceress. Clawful, warrior with the grip of evil. Well, duh, that's what we're talking about. And Spikor, the untouchable master of evil combat. I bet you he gives the worst hugs. I might have to use that when I do that review. Anyway, let's go ahead and open this sucker up and hopefully we don't scratch the comic again. I've been having so much bad luck with that lately. There we got the little parts thing. And we have a brand new comic. Honor Amongst Thieves. Now, I haven't read this at all, and I'm just going to kind of do a quick look over it. Because in this case, it does look like everybody has been kidnapped, including Skeletor and some of his minions, and He-Man and some of his friends. You can, of course, read it. But they're being forced to compete against each other. Oh, yeah, that's right. I think this... Are they trying to retell that story where, they had to do the contest where the villains could cheat because that's how evil is, and good could not because that's how good is? But what is with that expression on He-Man's face right there? Kind of looks like he had a stroke. And of course, the Horn of Evil is being used by Spikor here. Stuff happens. He-Man decides to save Skeletor, and the story ends. I just figured I'd give you all a chance to read the comic rather than actually talk too much about it like I normally do. Plus, it's a shorter video, and I think I may actually do a more full look at the comic, perhaps just reading it off as a separate video. On the back, we do have the other pictures from this quote wave. Webstore, evil master of escape, evil and evil warrior's goddess, Clawful, the warrior with the grip of evil, and Spikor, the untouchable master of evil combat. Yay! Anyway. So, let's be perfectly honest with Clawful here. He looks like he's part of the Snakeman, not a crustacean. He has pretty generic looking armor. Like, I don't understand where Filmation came up with this design. And I would love to know, because I have seen some of the videos as the extras on the DVD sets, and I never saw anything about them talking about redesigned characters. Now, I realize that part of it is they didn't want to give him the giant claw because they didn't want to, well, I should say because they wanted to be able to flip the film to have stuff going like opposite directions. So basically, if you have He-Man running, you record He-Man running, and then if he's running to the right, you flip it over, and now he's running to the left. And that's why, especially in old Filmation cartoons, the characters are very symmetrically designed, with the only exceptions being Trapjaw and Jitsu, I want to say. And in the case of both of them, I think if you watch episodes where they're in it, you'll see that at some point it still gets flipped and they look weird. But anyway, this would be a great Snakeman head design, I think. And I don't know why, but I keep on getting Kimono Dragon vibes from this. And I don't know if like did whoever like came up with this design like see what Clawful looked like and think he was some kind of reptile and not a crustacean. I guess that's certainly possible. Anyway, we have a ball joint at the head. We can spin it all around. He can look down and he can look kind of up. Not a lot. The back of his head gets in the way. He can look to the side easy enough. Can kind of look down at the side. Can barely look up on the side, but you know, it's there. I do like that he's got kind of a semi-open mouth, which is always one of those things that's a little bit hard sometimes to do, because we see how bad the original release of Skeletor was with that open mouth. But they did a good job here, and his tongue is, well, his tongue actually isn't painted, but they painted around it in a dark black color. Very basic harness, and it does appear to be a style that you will only be able to get off when you take him apart, because it does not have any latches on it. Arms can go up and down, and they can spin all around. And you do the hokey pokey. We got the elbow has the standard kind of not quite 90-degree bend to it, although it does get pretty straight, more so than the regular Origins figures. We have a spin at the wrist and the in and out articulation. And it does appear that they did just reuse the claw hands from Origins and did not create their own for this figure, which is kind of funny when you get right down to it, because a lot of the other parts that they use tend to be all new, you know? I don't mean all new for the figures, but I mean the cartoon collection has a new set of bucks, right? So we do have a spin at the waist. We can kick up, and we can kick back, and we can kick out. Uh, he is not doing the splits anytime soon. Single joint at the knee. We get pretty close to 90 degrees there. More so again than Origins. We have the boot cut. And we have the hinge and pin at the bottom. And he is using like Skeletor's boots and Merman's feet, I want to say, in this figure. Head sculpt is new for him. And again, he does. And this is the problem with the Filmation cartoon. He looks like he's a Snakeman. And since we did mention taking the harness off, also note here, the harness itself, the belt, or the waist belt part, does cover up the other, the belt on the diaper. But let's see how difficult it is to actually get this off. There we go. Slide it through the armpit hole. Other than that, you know, it's the typical Masters of the Universe or cartoon collection buck. The only accessory he comes with is the Horn of Evil, which is really kind of goofy looking in my opinion. The skull at the top is a separate piece from the rest of it. So he's supposed to be able to hold it in his clawed hand. And he can. That worked well. Now, in theory, we should be able to position it so it looks like he's getting ready to blow it. Like so. I am pretty sure with how weighty this front part is that you would probably want to have a hand underneath it while you're holding it like that, though. Or have both hands at the top, which I am pretty sure we can't really do, but maybe we can. Almost. This seems to be about the closest we can get to making him look like he's blowing into it, though. Out of curiosity, get our man Piper here. See, yeah, I guess you would. The regular hands can also hold on to the Horn of Evil. But aside from that, let's go ahead and do the comparison to the original style figure. I mean, my God, they could be twins, right? Totally look exactly the same. I love it. It's great. It really is. This really should be a whole separate character when you get right down to it. But anyway, obviously, the cartoon collection version, he had just two small claws. They didn't have the big claw, which is where he got his name from, because, who needs that? He's got the standard, human body, whereupon he had the serrated body like Whiplash had, even at the hands. And actually, I think that's the same buck or the same legs and arms used on Buzz Off too. Well, obviously it was because they shared a hand. But yeah, that's kind of how that one goes, right? I do wish they had given us some other weapons with him, but I don't know if he used any other weapons in the show. Although to me that shouldn't matter because there are plenty of weapons in Masters of the Universe that would probably not come out, so you could throw them with the characters anyway. So that is our look at the cartoon collection version of Clawful. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, that would be great if you decided to subscribe to my channel. You'd see more of my content, which could be a plus or minus for you, let's be perfectly honest. And let me know what you think. I mean, I know it's not really fair to really compare these two in a matter of like, the toy itself, but it's hard to get away from that redesign, you know what I mean? Because Filmation really redesigned this figure or this character. And I am glad that we're actually getting it in the cartoon collection, though, that version. It is rather unique looking. Although I guess technically not as unique as the original, but you know what I mean. Peace and love.